Today, I'm going to share with you 4 clues that will let you know that your child already sees you as their safe space. If you want to raise your children with a lot more peace, if you want them to trust you with anything, if that's your deepest desire, however, sometimes you see your sensitive child struggling with meltdowns, with crying a lot, long crying sessions, and you're like, I wonder if they trust me. I wonder if they see me as their safe space. On today's podcast episode, I'm going to share with you these clues that will let you know, yes, I am my child's safe space, or yes, I am on my way to for my child to feel safe with me always. Hello, my name is Marcela Collier. Welcome to another episode of the Parenting with Understanding podcast. I am a certified parenting coach, autism mom, autistic mom. I have 8-year-old twins, and my mission as the head coach of HIC Parenting Education Agency is to transform the lives of parents by helping them bring peace to their parenting, break free from angry reactivity, and raise emotionally secure children. So far, my team of coaches and I have allowed and helped 14,151 parents parent their children, their highly sensitive children, and neurodivergent children with a lot more peace in HIC Parenting Coaching Agency. After this podcast episode, you are going to feel a lot more calm and confident, even during your child's chaos, because you will know for sure that your child already sees you as their safe space. And if you've been enjoying our Parenting with Understanding podcast, if it has given you inspiration, information, and transformation as well in your parenting, would you leave us a positive review? I would love for you to let us know how our podcast has have helped you raise children with a lot more peace. So just if you are not driving, if you are able to write a positive review, pause the podcast, open the description, and leave us hopefully a 5-star positive review. Okay, so let's talk about these things that will give you a real clue that your child already sees you as their safe space. Number one, they share their feelings with you. Now, if we think about, okay, a child sharing their feelings, we might be imagining a child who's sad and telling their mom or their father, I don't feel good. I feel disconnected, or I feel angry about this thing that happened at school. That's the ideal world. Kids, especially if you have neurodivergent kids like me, I have my autistic son, he would rarely express his feelings that way. He would do it through physical expressions, physical expressions of maybe hitting his brother or maybe yelling or maybe crying really loud. So when if your child feels free to express all their feelings through a lot of crying, through those big aggressive behaviors, that's actually the sign that his issue, they see you as their safe space, not as their punching bag. I was in soccer practice and I was talking to an autism mom, and then she was telling me, I don't understand. My son, he cries with me, but not with his father. But for sure, as soon as he sees me, he cries. But when he's with his father, he doesn't cry. And then the father was right there, and then he said, I don't let him cry. That's why you have to be more stern. And then I told the mom, he sees you as his safe space. If he feels safe to cry with you, it's because he feels safe to cry with you. Now, I'm not saying that he might not feel safe with his father, but sure, he doesn't feel comfortable letting it out with his father because he wants to meet his father's expectation of we don't cry. I don't know what his relationship with his son. Um, I'm not here to uh, come up with conclusions of what it would be. But a lot of the times, I'm not saying this is the case, but a lot of the times, when the child feels that if they express crying, they're going to get their parents' disapproval, they will hold their tears, they will swallow their emotions to show what the parents want to see. So the fact that this mother says that the child, her autistic child, cries more with her, it lets me know that he feels safe to share her feelings with her. That was a sign that this mother is, in fact, a safe space for this child. Number two, you know your child feels safe with you. You know you are your child's safe space when they seek your comfort. When they seek your comfort. And seeking your comfort sometimes may look like clinging onto you. Seeking your comfort might seem like you are entering a play date and they don't want to leave your hip. That is seeking comfort, even though it seems like, oh, why is my child so clingy? Well, they know you are their comfort. In fact, research has shown time to time again when there is a disconnected relationship between caregiver and child, the child might be more prone to be focused or be be focused on the environment, on the things he sees in the room than the disconnection that he's about to experience with the parent. There was actually a, I would say, a social, was it uh, a social experiment? It was a scientific social experiment that they took several children with different quality of attachment, children who felt safe with their caregivers, and children who did not have such a secure relationship with their caregivers. Well, the children who felt safe with their caregivers, when their caregivers entered the room and they were about to leave the room without their kids, all their kids were upset, were crying about their caregivers leaving. Now, once they left, they started feeling a lot more comfortable with the room and they started exploring other areas. Whereas the children who did not have a secure relationship with their caregiver, the surprising thing that they found is that these children were dropped off and did not even acknowledge the caregiver when the caregiver left. They just went right to playing. And when the parent came back, they didn't even cling back to them. They didn't acknowledge them. Maybe they looked at them, but they were just, oh, okay, you're here. Okay, cool. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. Whereas the secure children were excited about seeing their parents again. So the fact that your child seeks comfort from you is a really great sign that they find you as their safe space. Now, there are some things that could mm, be a deterrent or a roadblock on our children seeing us as their true safe space. And this has to do with the level of security we feel within us. If we feel secure and we feel grounded in their chaos, then they feel secure and they are on their way to feeling grounded themselves. But if they feel that we are anxious, overwhelmed, insecure, not knowing what to do, in reactivity as well, if we are as reactive as them, it's really hard for them to see us as their safe space, even if we wanted to. I remember a TikTok that I saw the other day. It was an autism mom, and then her child was crying right on the bed, and she was crying with the child. She said, I offer her food, I offer her hugs, I comfort her, and then she keeps on crying as the mom was really dysregulated and crying. It makes sense to me why the child was not calming down with all the alternatives that the mom offered, because children don't calm down when with things. Children calm down with the exchange of safety from their caregivers. If the exchange is anxiety, if the exchange is overwhelm, if the exchange is um, dysregulation, it is hard, almost impossible for a child, especially if they're autistic or neurodivergent, to calm down. Now, Marcela, how do I do this? It's so hard. Well, I have a free class that our clients have taken that has helped them parent their children with a lot more peace. This is a free class that you can find in HIC parenting.com. I'm going to leave a card up here or it's in the description below. But you are going to learn number one, my parenting with understanding system of needs to have calm responses in your children's chaos. Number two, you are going to learn to communicate to your children so they listen, even when you tell them no. And number three, you are going to know how to raise an emotionally secure child, even if you don't always feel calm. You can find this class right now. It is free. I'm going to leave it in the description below. And I want to show you the transformation that one of our clients, his name is Nick, lived after he went through this free class. And of course, after the free class, he decided to join us as a coaching client. And this is his result after the whole process.
And I feel like over the course of this program, I've become much better at being consistent for them. And then to just be there for him and felt like I was present, I was calm and able to like support him through that regulating process to where we were able to end the night on a really good note.
That's the benefit of learning the parenting with understanding system of needs. You are going to see yourself a lot more consistent instead of sometimes your child sees you calm, sometimes your child sees you dysregulated. They're going to see you stable. And even if you don't feel calm, you will know how to return yourself back to calm. So, yeah, access this class. The information is there, the guidance there for you to start feeling a lot more peace. Number three, number three clue that your child sees you as their safe space, and it's that they can express themselves freely. There is a limiting belief when it comes to letting our children just express themselves. If I let my child say whatever, they're going to grow up as this disrespectful person. If they will become disrespectful people, if we don't show them how to respond with respect. Example, it was the end of screen time. And then my autistic son, he's almost 9 years old. He usually has a really hard time stopping tasks or starting tasks. This is part of autistic inertia. So his twin brother had an easier time giving up iPad time, but he was struggling. And then he told me, Mom, you are such a torture. You are torturing me. You're that torture. And I said, okay, that doesn't sound respectful. But if you did not like that iPad time is over, if you're having a hard time, you can say, Mom, I'm disappointed. So, letting our children express themselves freely is not about letting them say whatever. It's about when they say the whatever, for us to guide them with respect, with with understanding that they're just accessing the best kind of communication they know at the moment, and they're not trying to be disrespectful. Number four, Number four clue that your child will see you as their safe space. They will tell the truth. I'm still recovering from this. Last week, I went to pick up my twins from school. And then when I was approaching the classroom, I saw the teacher with my son and two more students outside the classroom, and she was yelling on the top of their lungs at them because they called some friends' names. Okay, I intervened and I said, I understand that my son and these students need to be corrected. I agree. What I don't agree with is the yelling. We can correct children without yelling. And then she said, you don't understand. You didn't see this. They were lying to me. I said, okay. So it seems that lies are uh, a big no for you. Like it, it really triggers your nervous system. Because it triggers your nervous system, that doesn't mean that we're still going to respond with yelling, because we're adults. And as adults, we have a fully developed brain to be able to manage our emotions and respond differently. And I know that lying is a behavior that needs to be corrected. But that's not the point that I want to make here. It makes sense to me why they were lying. Because if she is that reacting and she was yelling at the top of her lungs, it makes sense to me why they felt scared to tell the truth. Complete sense. Now, do I excuse lying? No. And at home, I talked to my child about it, and then we had a conversation about trust. And yeah, and I agree if there are consequences about it, but that does not justify the overreaction from the teacher. And that overreaction was what created the line. When children feel safe to tell you their truth, they won't lie. That's for sure. Lies are a fear based behavior. If a child feels fearful of telling the truth, they're going to lie. So if your child tells you the truth, no matter how it sounds like, that's a really good sign that your child sees you as their safe space. Now, I have to say that sometimes they're going to lie about little itty bitty things because they might be still scared of um, getting in trouble or having a consequence. But what I'm talking about, children don't feel safe when they lie, is if we yell at them and they lie to us right after. That makes sense why they're lying, if that makes sense. So that's number four. Would this did this podcast episode give you a really good clue if you are your child's safe space? So let's review. Number one, they feel free to express their emotions. Number two, they seek comfort with you. Number three, they feel safe to express their opinion. And number fourth, they tell the truth. From 1 to 4, how much of a safe space you are for your child. If you discover that you are your child's safe space, say yes, I am a safe space in the comments if you're watching from YouTube. I'm so excited to bring this podcast episode to you because I want to let you know that you are a good parent. Share it with a friend, share it with your spouse, share it with your mom, share it with your sister. Let them know, hey, I want to share this podcast episode with you to let you know that you are a good parent, and for you to know if your child, like, send it to your spouse. I want you to know if our son sees you as a safe space. Let me know once you watch this podcast episode. Remember, it only takes understanding of yourself and of your children's needs to transform your parenting. That's Parenting with Understanding. I'll see you next time. Bye.